Hey Pandalings, this is the Black Belt Panda, and in this episode of the Redstone Bunker, we're going to create the super secret minecart getaway piston door. Okay, so we're here inside the bunker, and we're going to start by getting the door set up with a piston system. So we just want to break this wall out here, and this one part of the wall is definitely not going to be blast proof, and that's one downside to this, but the emergency escape I think is definitely well worth it. So what we're going to do is basically set up the pistons so that these four here will push out these two and these two stone into here, and then we want these two to push the stone out to there. Very simple. We're just going to add these two blocks here, and we're going to set up a repeater right here, and now the redstone signal will travel through this block, and when these pistons come over here, it'll power these two out. So then over here we're just going to put down a block here with some redstone on there, another block right here, and then a repeater. And when the signal comes through here, that's going to power these two, or these four repeaters rather, which will push these two along with the two stone out. Hopefully that made sense. I'll try to show you it in action. So that's those four, pushing those two repeaters and two stone out, and then those two stone are pushed out by these two repeaters, and then it deactivates in the reverse order, just like that. Okay, now we need to bring the signal downwards into a little room we're going to set up underground, so we can start doing that right here. Just gonna break downward. Hey look, I found coal. To get an idea of how far back we're gonna want to go, I'm just going to break downward here where our pressure plate is going to be, and then I can work my way over right there. And this is where the room's going to be, so then we can just open this up. Need to get an idea of the distance over to this direction. So we're just going to go diagonally here until we reach, here we go, this spot here. And now we know how big the area we need to clear out is. So I'm just going to do that really quick, and I might as well do that off camera. Okay, so you'll notice right off the bat I did not use obsidian to surround this room, and the reason I did that is simply because I don't know if I'm going to have to expand it anymore or not. I will replace the floor with obsidian, however, like so. Okay, so we want to use slabs. You can use whatever type you want. I'm going to be using stone, and we're going to use these to bring the signal downwards. So we're just going to put an upside down slab here, and then we can put redstone on top of that. Going to break the block here, and now we need an upside down slab here, and then we can use a regular block here. And now in this way we can put redstone on top of that slab, as you can see here, redstone on here, and finally we can put redstone down here. And you'll notice the slabs don't interfere with the redstone connecting, so if I actually activate this, you can hear the pistons up above me activating, because the signal does travel vertically up this line. So that just saves some space. We're going to do the same thing on the other side here. So we're just going to come up here, use a slab there, and then we're going to break that, come down here, and we need a slab there, and then we can use a regular block right there. So redstone up there, redstone there, and now we can bring our signal down. We'll extend this one out, and now we can connect these. One change we need to make before we go any further: this repeater here should be on maximum delay. This way what happens is, as the signal travels through both redstone wires here, this will activate first. So when the pistons push this piston over, this is already on, and it pushes the stone out. However, when the signal diminishes, this one will be the first one to turn off. And so this piston will pull back the stone before this one turns off, which will pull back the pistons and the stone into the wall. So now we can just kind of make a little bit of a walkway here. Just help cover it up a little. And we'll expand that further later. But for now, we're going to want another access down into here. So I'm just going to punch another hole right there, because we want to put a pressure plate on that block. Underneath that block, which is right here, we're just going to put a piece of redstone on another block. And that'll activate when we step on the pressure plate. So now this is going to be our delayed signal circuit. And probably going to have to expand the room a little bit, so let me do that off camera. Okay, did a little bit of expanding here. And I might do that several times off camera, just because I haven't actually built this entire circuit in this tutorial world. I've done it in a test world that I have, where I do all of my preliminary designs. But I'm kind of basically working with the space that I have here right now. So let's go ahead and get started with the delayed signal. And the reason we want this to happen is we want it set up so that we run through the pressure plate here. The pistons will activate and stay open long enough for us to get up to them and get out the door, and then have them close behind us. And with a simple pressure plate, they won't actually stay open long enough. We will either run into them or we will get caught inside of them. So this just helps delay the signal a little bit. It's a little bit better than using just your standard repeater delays, because this allows for more control over the delay, and it's a little bit more compact. It will be using the repeaters, however. So to do this, we're just going to put a redstone repeater here on maximum delay, and then we're going to need 2 blocks, just like that. We're going to put a redstone torch on top of this one, and then we're going to put a piece of redstone on top of that one. And then we need 3 repeaters, 3 going this way, and then 3 repeaters, if I can get it there, going that way, all of them on maximum delay. This is just a very compact way of delaying the signal. 2 redstone here to connect these last 2 repeaters, and then what we need is a torch here connected to our signal coming from the pressure plate. We need redstone here, which is going to be our output. Actually, no. We need a stone here. This will be our output, which is going to be inverted, as you can see here, because we want our pistons to be closed. So if we come up, we can see the door is closed now, because the door is going to be closed all the time, except for when we need it. So now we need a block right there to prevent this from connecting, and then we need a piece of redstone here on top and here. And now I'm going to go ahead and explain this as best as I can. Basically, and I'll use a button to demonstrate so I don't have to keep jumping up and down. What's going to happen is the signal is going to transmit through this repeater, and this repeater is going to pass the signal into this block. Once that happens, this block becomes powered, which causes this torch here to turn off. Once this torch turns off, this one will turn on, because this torch is supplying power to this block, which is keeping it turned off. So that's that half. Now, once this block is powered, the power will transfer into these repeaters, where they will travel around slowly, because they're all on maximum delay, and into this block. Once this block is powered, this torch, which is going to be on, will be turned off, because the block will receive power again. Now this part over here, a little bit of lag there. Okay, this part over here, once this block has power, this piece of redstone here is going to be powered, which is going to help power this block here, and this torch here will turn off once it receives power. Now, since this is inverted, we want this to turn off to activate the pistons, so this will stay off as long as this redstone here has power. And this bit of redstone here is just to make sure that the torch stays in the state that it's meant to be in long enough for the signal from these repeaters to pass through. Now, I know that's a little bit difficult to understand, but I'm going to demonstrate this whole thing to you, so that hopefully it'll make a little bit more sense. So push the button, and you'll see the signal travels around. Now, I'll show you step by step because I do want this series to be kind of a redstone learning process. So if you already understand how this works, I apologize for the delay in the build, but I'm sure there are several people watching that don't understand it, and that's what this is for. So we turn this on, and you'll immediately see this torch is on as long as there's no power. That keeps power going here in this wire when this torch is on. As long as the power is in this wire, power will be going to this block, as you can see here. And the reason we want that to happen is if we don't have that, hang on, let me do it this way. If we don't have that connected, you'll see that that actually turns off very quickly, because the power disappears very quickly. So that is specifically to keep it from doing this. If you watch this torch really quick, you'll see it turn off, on, very quickly. There's no delay. We'll put this back, and now watch. Off immediately, because this is keeping the signal on, and then back on. So there's our delay. And the back part is pretty self-explanatory. The signal just travels around, reactivates this, and then once the signal disappears completely, this torch turns back on. So I really hope you understood that. I don't really know how to explain it any better than that, but this is a nice little compact signal lengthener or signal sustainer that's going to help us keep that door open long enough. So let me get rid of that button, and we'll watch it in action. So now we're coming through, and now the door stays open long enough for us to get through. And we can control the amount of time as well. So I'm just going to pop back in, find my way in here. Oh no, where am I? I don't know. Oh, okay, there we are. Or not. I'm lost. What a noob. Noob got lost. No. I'll find my way back in. I just don't want to destroy stuff, but I think I'm going to have to. There we go. Oh, I was way too high up. No wonder I couldn't find my way back in. Look at that. So I don't have to go off camera after all. Okay, there we go. Now that we are successfully back in the building, let's continue. We're going to head down here. We've got pretty much all this set up. However, we want, for one, a inverter right here. Well, maybe not right there. I'm actually going to change that, but we do want this system to be one-time use. So basically what will happen is when we run through the doors and they close behind us, if whoever's chasing us makes it through this wall and steps on the pressure plate, the doors won't open again for them. And to do that is actually really simple. Okay, what we want to do is place a block right here. Get rid of that torch, move it over there. Okay, and then we can put some redstone on top of that, and a torch there to invert the signal that we've got coming from here. And then we want redstone repeaters, and we're just going to put 8 of them out, so I'm going to have to expand my wall a little bit off camera again. Okay, we've got that expanded. So like I said, we want 8 repeaters. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then 6 coming back. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And we want these all on maximum delay. And then connect them at the back with redstone. And you'll see I'm actually under the floor here. But that's fine because I can just put some more obsidian right on top there. Cover that side up. And then we want a sticky piston here. And a block of redstone. Right there. And what's basically going to happen, if I take the signal here, is the circuit, when it turns off, this torch here will turn on because it will no longer be receiving power, which will send a signal all the way through here, through our delay, and into this piston, where it will push this block of redstone forward. And by then, this signal should be turned off, and it'll come back on again, hopefully just before this gets pushed out. And this redstone block will keep this circuit powered. And since it will be kept powered constantly, regardless of what we do to it, then when someone steps on this pressure plate, the signal won't be able to turn off. And I will demonstrate that by hopping up here and stepping on the pressure plate. So, as you can see, it opens up. And I can see that closed. Or well, opened, I should say. The piston opened. Oh, we used a sticky piston. You don't want to use a sticky piston. I should mention that. You want a regular piston. And we actually, I think, want one more repeater. We could use a little bit more delay to that. Regular piston. Now we can knock that out. And use our block of redstone. So once more, we activate the system. And I can see the signals traveling through these repeaters. And that was pretty much instant. And now it doesn't matter how long it takes for this to retract, because this block is here now. And what's going to happen is when the next person steps on this, as you can see, nothing, because can't affect the circuit. So that's our one-time use circuit, and you reset it simply by removing the block of redstone and placing it back against the piston. And yeah, that's pretty good. Okay, so that pretty much does it for this episode. So tune in next episode when we do the secret escape route into the pond. We're going to make it open up for us. So once again, thanks for watching. This is the Black Belt Panda, and I will see you in the next video.